Hi everyone, today we will be discussing about the remaining drugs which are involved in quinolone class. So coming to the next drug, ofloxacin. It belongs to second generation of fluoroquinolone antibiotics. You know that we are discussing about quinolones and fluoroquinolones which are used as urinary tract anti-infective agents. So ofloxacin belongs to second generation of fluoroquinolone antibiotics. Coming to its structural details, as you can see clearly that it contains quinolone ring, that is two benzene rings fused together with a nitrogen atom is called quinoline, and at fourth position you have a ketone moiety, so this belongs to the class of quinolone. And at sixth position you have a fluorine atom, it belongs to the class of fluoroquinolone. Quinoline, quinolone, fluoroquinolone. And an important substituent which is present in or predominant in quinolones and fluoroquinolones is presence of carboxyl group at third position. Presence of carboxyl group is third position, which is very prominent. And in most of the quinolones or fluoroquinolones you find a methyl substitution or piperazine ring substitution. And over here at seventh position, in case of ofloxacin, you have methyl piperazine. This is piperazine, on a nitrogen you have a methyl group, so this is N-methyl piperazine. The substitution is N-methyl piperazine. At sixth position you have a fluorine atom, you have a carboxyl group at third position, and the most important constituent in this structure of ofloxacin is it becomes tricyclic. Why? Because the nitrogen atom of quinolone is involved in the ring structure to form oxazine ring. You know oxazine, it is a 6-membered heterocyclic ring containing oxygen and nitrogen atom. As you can see clearly, this is a 6-membered oxazine ring. With a methyl substitution. So the important structural components of this structure is presence of N-methyl piperazine, this is N-methyl piperazine, and presence of oxazine ring. That is the reason it is called as ofloxacin. It consists of oxazine ring. So ofloxacin is a racemic mixture. You know what is a racemic mixture? It consists of two enantiomers. One may be levoform, other one may be dextroform. So this racemic mixture consists of 50% of levofloxacin, which is biologically active, and 50% of its mirror image or enantiomer, dextrofloxacin. So ofloxacin exists as a racemic mixture. So in racemic mixture, the levofloxacin is the active form. The biologically active form is levofloxacin. Remember, levofloxacin 50% it constitutes, and levofloxacin is found to be biologically active, not its enantiomer, that is dextroform. Coming to its uses, it is useful for the treatment of number of bacterial infections. So it can be given IV, and the treatment includes pneumonia, cellulitis, inflammation of the cellular regions, urinary tract infections, prostatitis, plague, and certain types of infectious diarrhea. The other uses include treatment of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. This may be important. Treatment of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. An eye drop of it may be useful for the superficial bacterial infection in the eye. As we said, the ofloxacin is given IV. It can be given as eye drops for the treatment of bacterial infections in the eye, and ear drops for the treatment of otitis media. So it can be used either as eye drops or else as ear drops. Ear drops for the treatment of otitis media. For ear drops, it is useful for the treatment of otitis media. Eye drops for the treatment of superficial bacterial infections, and cellulitis, diarrhea for all other infections like pneumonia, cellulitis, urinary tract infections, prostatitis, plague, and certain types of infections like diarrhea. It is used IV. So these are some of the uses of ofloxacin. Coming to its side effects, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, rashes, these are very common. Apart from it, it includes tendon ruptures, numbness due to nervous damage, seizures and psychosis. Seizures and psychosis include tendon ruptures, numbness due to nervous damage, seizures and psychosis, and its activity can be seen against both aerobic as well as, that is aerobic gram negative as well as gram positive bacteria as well as other organisms, microorganisms. So what are the gram positive microorganisms against which this ofloxacin is active is Staphylococcus aureus, that is methicillin susceptible strains, Streptococcus pneumoniae. Staphylococcus and Streptococcus, as we said in the last class, they belong to the class of gram positive bacteria. Staphylococcus aureus, methicillin susceptible strains, and Streptococcus pneumoniae, penicillin susceptible strains, and Streptococcus pyogenes. So these are the gram positive bacteria against which ofloxacin is active. And coming to aerobic gram negative bacteria, these are Citrobacter cosseri, Enterobacter, Escherichia, Haemophilus, Klebsiella, Neisseria, Gonorrhea, Proteus, Pseudomonas. So these are some of the gram negative bacteria against which ofloxacin is active. And other microorganisms include Chlamydia trachomatis. So this is spectrum of activity against some gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Coming to its mechanism of action, as we said, it involves with the most of the fluoroquinolones are active against DNA gyrase as well as topoisomerase 4. So coming to its mechanism, ofloxacin is a broad spectrum antibiotic active against gram positive and gram negative bacteria. We have seen some examples as well. It functions by inhibiting two bacterial enzymes, one is DNA gyrase and topoisomerase, and we know what is the functional role of DNA gyrase and topoisomerase. Quickly we will go through it. Topoisomerase is useful for separating of DNA double stranded, and after the replication of the DNA it is also useful for the interlinking of DNA. And coming to the DNA gyrase, its function is the conversion of circular DNA to and converting them into supercoiled forms, that is induction of negative supercoils. So that gives topological confirmation for DNA activity. So that will be the action associated with DNA gyrase, and topoisomerase 4 is for unwinding and interlinking. So these are the two enzymes which are predominantly inhibited in case of fluoroquinolones. Coming to the next drug, lomifloxacin. So lomifloxacin also belongs to the second generation fluoroquinolone antibiotics. Coming to its structures, it has a predominant quinolone ring, the nitrogen and ketone moiety at 1 and 4 positions, the fluorine at 6th position as well as carboxyl group at 3rd position, and this is piperazine ring where it is 3-methylated, 3-methyl piperazine ring. Earlier it was N-methyl piperazine ring. In lomifloxacin it is 3-methyl piperazine. And coming to N substitution, it is ethyl substitution. N substitution is ethyl substitution, and you also have at 8th position you have a fluorine atom. Lomifloxacin, it is used to treat bacterial infections including bronchitis, urinary tract infections, and And coming to its side effects, lomifloxacin is associated with phototoxicity and central nervous system adverse effects. It also comes with black box warning. What is black box warning? It consists of strict warning of potential adverse effects. So it should be taken under the advice of a medical practitioner. So it should be preferable to take under medical practitioner with specific cautions. So black box warning, what does it say? It has some strict warning of potential adverse effects. And lomefloxacin is unique in that it forms magnesium chelate with itself. So it forms magnesium chelate. Two molecules of lomefloxacin may form a chelate with magnesium ion, that is 2 carbonyl ion. So you have a carbonyl group, so this carbonyl group will be magnesium chelated with the other carbonyl group of another lomefloxacin molecule, so it forms a chelate with magnesium ions. So coming to gadifloxacin, gadifloxacin belongs to the class of 4th generation fluoroquinolone antibiotics, and coming to its important structures, it consists of quinolone ring, presence of nitrogen at first position and ketone at fourth position, fluorine atom at sixth position and carboxyl group at third position. These are predominant structures. At seventh position, piperazine ring is present, which is methylated at third position, and in important moiety with presence of methoxy group at 8th position, presence of methoxy, that is ether functionality, presence of methoxy group at 6th position, and N substitution is with cyclopropyl group. The cyclopropyl group substitution we have seen in ciprofloxacin at second generation antibiotic ciprofloxacin. So similar to ciprofloxacin, it shares N cyclopropyl substitution. So coming to gadifloxacin, it belongs to 4th generation fluoroquinolone. It inhibits bacterial enzymes, that is DNA gyrase and topoisomerase 4, that is very common with fluoroquinolones, and uses include gadifloxacin ophthalmic solution is used to treat bacterial conjunctivitis, pink eye infection of the membrane that covers the outside of the eyeball and inside the eyelids. So pink eye infection, it is also useful for the treatment of pink eye infection. That is nothing but infection that covers the outer side of the eyeballs, the eyeballs, the outer side as well as the inner side of the eyelids. So useful for bacterial conjunctivitis, also pink eye infections. The side effects include dysglycemia. This is something involved with sugar metabolism, dysglycemia, and it also comes with black box warning. What was black box warning? It cautions against potential adverse effects. So that was the structural details and mechanism of action and uses associated with gadifloxacin. Coming to sparfloxacin belongs to 3rd generation fluoroquinolones. Coming to its structural features, it consists of quinolone ring, the nitrogen at first position, ketone at fourth position, carboxyl group at third position and fluorine at 6th position, and 3,3-dimethyl piperazine ring, presence of the symmetrical piperazine ring which is bimethylated at third and fifth position. It is dimethyl piperazine ring, and fluorine at 8th position, an extra fluorine at 8th position. And coming to its gadifloxacin and ciprofloxacin, sparfloxacin also consists of cyclopropyl ring on nitrogen, heterocyclic nitrogen, so N cyclopropyl ring. And an important feature which has not been seen in fluoroquinolone rings is presence of an amine group at 5th position. So this is the structural details of sparfloxacin. Coming to its uses, it is used in the treatment of bacterial infections. It is also useful in the treatment of community related infections, acute sinusitis, exacerbations of chronic bronchitis, inflammation of the bronchi, and community acquired pneumonia. Coming to its mechanism of action, it inhibits DNA gyrase and topoisomerase 4, which are involved in DNA replication and transcriptions. So that was about sparfloxacin. Coming to the Next drug, moxifloxacin, that is the last drug under this fluoroquinolone class, moxifloxacin. So it also comes under fourth generation antibiotic. Clearly looking at this molecule, if you are very confused with the structure, you can just flip it vertically, flip the molecule vertically 180 degrees, you will get back the original structures for comparison. If you want, you can flip the molecule 180 degrees vertically, 180 degrees not horizontally, 180 degrees vertically, and just rewrite the structure. And then you find nitrogen and a ketone moieties at 1 and 4th position. At 3rd position you have carboxyl group. At 6th position you have a fluorine moiety, and at at 8th position you have a methoxy group, which is similar to that of sparfloxacin. And at 7th position you have a pyrrolidine ring fused with piperidine ring. This is pyrrolidine ring fused with piperidine ring. Bicyclic pyrrolidine fused with piperidine ring. So this is a substitution which is very unusual with fluoroquinolines. It is present in moxifloxacin. So important structural moiety is pyrrolidine fused with piperidine, it bicyclic ring, which is present at 7th position. And coming to its uses, it is used as an antibiotic used to treat bacterial infections, include pneumonia, conjunctivitis, endocarditis, tuberculosis and sinusitis. It is given orally, IV and as eye drops. It is given orally, IV as well as eye drops. Coming to the side effects, it includes diarrhea, dizziness, headache. These are the common adverse effects or side effects. And the severe side effects include tendon ruptures, which is very commonly observed with fluoroquinolone antibiotics, nervous damage and worsening of myasthenia gravis. As we have said the other day, it is an autoimmune disorder, myasthenia gravis, and it is a skeletal muscle disorder, myasthenia gravis. Coming to its mechanism of action, it inhibits both the bacterial enzymes. One is DNA gyrase as well as topoisomerase 4, which are necessary for DNA replication, and it also involves with DNA transcription. And the moxifloxacin is active against both gram positive and gram negative bacteria. It is active against gram positive and gram negative bacteria. And the two major enzymes inhibited by moxifloxacin is DNA gyrase and topoisomerase 4. So that was about fluoroquinolone antibiotics, and the only topic left in this is synthesis of ciprofloxacin. Ciprofloxacin belongs to second generation of fluoroquinolones. And coming to its synthesis, as we can see through this synthetic scheme, it starts with the substrate 2,4-dichloro 5-fluoro benzoyl chloride, that is C6H5 C double bond O Cl. This is called benzoyl chloride. So at 2nd and 4th position we have dichloro, and at 5th position we have a fluoro. So 2,4-dichloro 5-fluoro benzoyl chloride. So when it is treated with diethyl malonate, malonic acid is COOH CH2 COOH, malonic acid. So it is a dicarboxylic 3-carbon organic acid, dicarboxylic 3-carbon organic acid. The positions of carboxylic acids are 1 and 3. And the second position is methylene group, CH2 group. So that is malonic acid. What is diethyl malonic acid? Ester. So if the two carboxyl free groups are esterified with ethyl alcohol, then what you get is diethyl malonic acid. Write down the structure for diethyl malonic acid. So 2,4-dichloro 5-fluoro benzoyl chloride, when treated with diethyl malonic acid in presence of magnesium and ethyl alcohol, it gives a diester. So this diester, when treated in acidic conditions, H+ ions and heating, So one of the ester moiety is cleaved to give carboxylic acid, and that carboxylic acid on heating it escapes as carbon dioxide, leaving behind beta keto ester. So this is an ester. At alpha position you have a carbon, at beta position you have a carbonyl group. So this is called as beta keto ester. So ester, the first carbon is an ester carbon, so this is alpha carbon. At beta position you have a keto group, so this is beta keto ester. And coming to its next reaction, when it is treated with triethyl orthoformate, write down, search the structure from the Google and write down triethyl orthoformate. Anyways, I'll be explaining you the mechanism. So when this beta keto ester is is treated with triethyl orthoformate in presence of acetic anhydride, we get an enol ester. As you can see, this is a double bond CH2 double bond CH, and this is O ethyl. If ethyl group is not there and if it was OH, then it is called enol, and this is an ester, so they can be called as an enol ester. So they take this enol ester and treat it with cyclopropylamine. You know that amines are nucleophilic, they are reactive, and this is O ethyl group when it escapes. So through SN2 reaction, so similar to like SN2 reaction, the leaving group is O ethyl group, the attacking group is cyclopropylamine. So you can see the O ethyl is substituted with cyclopropylamine, and then it undergoes cyclization in presence of potassium carbonate. You know that this Cl will go out with potassium to form potassium chloride, and this amine will attack at electron deficient carbon, thereby it undergoes ring cyclization, and in the last step this chlorine atom is being replaced with piperazine moiety. In presence of piperazine it goes and a nucleophilic attack takes place. So this is the final compound, ciprofloxacin. So in the first step, the substrate is treated with diethyl malonate, magnesium and ethyl alcohol to give a diester. This diester, it undergoes hydrolysis followed by decarboxylation in the presence of acid. On heating it gives monoester, that is beta keto ester, alpha beta. This is beta position, you have keto moiety, so this is beta keto ester, and which undergoes condensation with triethyl orthoformate to give enol ester. This enol ester when treated with cyclopropylamine, the OET, this is ethoxide group is the outgoing group and the incoming group is cyclopropylamine, and then followed by cyclization in the presence of potassium carbonate and DMF. The potassium chloride will leave and the amine will attack on the electron deficient carbon. In the final step, the chlorine is replaced with piperazine when it undergoes nucleophilic attack. So the ultimate product is ciprofloxacin. So coming to its mechanism, if you quickly go through the mechanism, so as we said, this is 2,4-dichloro-5-fluoro benzoyl chloride, and you know that the chlorine is the best leaving group, it goes out, and this is diethyl malonate, the structure of diethyl malonate, in which one of the H plus ion has been pulled by the base to give enolate. So this negatively charged carbon will attack the carbonyl group. So this is how you get diethyl ester. Diethyl ester. So this is how you get a diester. In the next step, as you can see clearly, it undergoes ester in the presence of acidic condition. It undergoes hydrolysis to give ethyl alcohol, and this COO will accept proton to form carboxylic acid. And the carboxylic acid, monocarboxylic acid, when it is heated, it undergoes decarboxylation. You can see it undergoes decarboxylation. This bond is clear. The H plus will migrate to this carbon, and this goes out as carboxyl group. So C double bond O. This carboxyl groups will go, and in the next step, the two protons which are present over here, this hydrogen will migrate to here. So that you will get back two protons. two hydrogen atoms at the second position, and these two hydrogens, one of the proton will escape because in the basic conditions, and it generates an enolate. So this enolate will act as a nucleophile. This enolate will act as nucleophile in the presence of triethyl orthoformate. This is the structure of triethyl orthoformate, which has only one carbon atom like CH, and this is triethyl orthoformate, the structure of triethyl orthoformate. So this enolate, when attacks onto the electron deficient carbon, it has to go out. So this will go out and leaving behind the carbon with two diethyl orthoformate. It is like diethyl orthoformate. In the next step, one of the left out proton will leave, and the bonding pair of electrons are given to the carbon to form a double bond, and so when it is forming a double bond, the valence of carbon will increase, so it has to go out as O-ethyl group or ethoxide group. So this is how you get a double bond and OC2H5. So this structure we'll see over here in this scheme. So this is the structure which is obtained, enol ester, and from here it is very simple. The O-ethyl group will migrate and cyclopropylamine will take its position. This is just simply nucleophilic substitution reaction, and in the next step, in the presence of potassium carbonate, on heating in presence of DMF, the potassium will form a bond with chloride. It goes out as potassium chloride, and this electron deficient carbon will be attacked by lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen. So this is how you get a ring cyclized form. And last step, nucleophilic substitution, where Cl minus will leave and piperazine ring will attack. So this is how synthesis of ciprofloxacin proceeds. So coming to the miscellaneous anti-infective agents, that is urinary tract anti-infective agents, the first drug we are going to study is furazolidine. So in furazolidine, under this miscellaneous drugs, you have three drugs. One is furazolidine, another one is nitrofurantoin, and another one is methenamine or hexamethylene tetramine. So out of this, furazolidine and nitrofurantoin have the common structure, that is nitrofuran ring. As you can see, this is nitro and this is furan ring. This is nitrofuran ring, and you can remember like furazolidine, furan is 5-membered heterocyclic ring with oxygen atom, and aza, furazo means oxygen and nitrogen should be present. Furazo, it is like oxazoline. So furazo, and this is a ketone moiety, so this can be called as furazolidone. So this furazolidine ring is fused to nitrofuran ring through a nitrogen atom. So this is the complete structure of furazolidone. So furazolidone is a nitrofuran antibacterial agent and monoamine oxidase inhibitor. Furazolidone is a nitrofuran antibacterial agent and monoamine oxidase inhibitor, MAO inhibitor. So coming to its chemical structure, it consists of nitrofuran ring and furazolidone ring. Coming to its uses, it is used to treat diarrhea, enteritis caused by bacteria and protozoan infections. It is also used to treat traveler's diarrhea. Traveler's diarrhea is nothing but the diarrhea or motions which occur due to eating contaminated food. During journeys, we take the food here and there. So if we take contaminated food, then the situation it leads to is traveler's diarrhea. And it is also used to treat cholera, bacteremic salmonella caused by salmonella. It is also useful in the treatment of Helicobacter pylori infections. Ulcers are aggravated due to Helicobacter pylori, so it is also used to treat Helicobacter pylori infections, and it is also useful for the treatment of giardiasis caused by Giardia lamblia, amoebiasis, shigellosis. So these are some of the infections which is used to treat for. So this is about furazolidone ring, and furazolidone is nitrofuran antibiotic it is its use is prohibited under Animal Medicinal Drug Use Clarification Act. Animal Medicinal Drug Use Clarification Act 1994. So it cannot be given to animals. And mechanism of action, it is used to work by cross-linking of DNA. Cross-linking of DNA. Thereby it inhibits DNA replication. It inhibits DNA replication. Coming to its side effects: tremors, convulsions, peripheral neuritis, CNS effects, gastrointestinal depressions, and depression of spermatogenesis. Depression of spermatogenesis. So nitrofurans are recognized by FDA as mutagens or carcinogens, and therefore they are not used again. So in 1991 its use has been banned by FDA for human use, and in 1994 its use is banned by Animal Medicinal Drug Use Clarification Act. Animal Medicinal Drug Use Clarification Act 1994. And next drug is nitrofurantoin. So nitrofurantoin, the chemical structure, it consists of nitrofuran ring, as we said, and it furantoin, hydantoin. So it contains a hydantoin ring as well. As you can see, this is a nitrofuran ring, and from here this part is called hydantoin ring. We have discussed many times the structure of hydantoin. 1,3% nitrogens. It looks more or less like imidazole, which is not aromatic, and at 2 and 5th position you have a ketone moieties. So in the imidazole at 2 and 5th position you have a diketon moiety, and aromaticity is converted to saturated form, then it is called as hydantoin ring. So hydantoin fused with nitrofuran, so this is nitrofurantoin through an imine link. Imine is nothing but C double bond N system. So that was about the structure of nitrofurantoin. Uses: treat bladder infections, kidney infections, urinary tract infections, bladder infections, kidney infections. And coming to its side effects include nausea, loss of appetite, diarrhea, headache, numbness, lung problems, liver problems may occur. Coming to its mechanism of action. So we'll quickly go through the mechanism of action. Nitrofurantoin is concentrated in the urine. So important point to remember, nitrofurantoin will be concentrated in urine, therefore it is very useful in the treatment of urinary tract infections. Nitrofurantoin accumulates in urine. It is very useful in the treatment of urinary tract infection. The mechanism of action is unique and complex. It works by damaging bacterial DNA, since its reduced form is highly reactive. As you can see in nitrofuran, this is a nitro group which is an oxidized form, and if it is reduced it converts to amines. They are nucleophilic. So this nucleophilic amine can interact with the DNA forming a complexes, and it will work by damaging the DNA. And coming to methenamine, this structure we have already seen in the laboratory. So this is hexamethylene tetramine. Methenamine, it is also called as hexamethylene tetramine or methenamine, or hexamine, or also called as urotropin. Very important to remember, it is also called as urotropin. Why it is called hexamethylene tetramine? If you see, this is methylene group, CH2 group, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So you have 6 hexamethylene groups and you have 4 nitrogens, hexamethylene tetramine. So here easy to write the structure is, this is a cyclohexane chair form, and this is again another cyclohexane chair form. And this is a methylene bridge. Easy to write the structure: cyclohexane chair form, another cyclohexane chair form, and methylene bridge, and place 4 nitrogen atoms. So coming to its chemical formulas, CH2 taken 6 times N4. Very easy. Hexamethylene tetramine. It is a white crystalline compound soluble in water and polar organic solvents. And coming to its uses, it's mandelic salt. So hexamethylene tetramine, it forms a salt with carboxylic acid, that is mandelic acid. So this is methenamine mandalate USP. It is useful for urinary tract infections, and when it decomposes in the body, it at acidic pH, it converts to formaldehyde and ammonia. And formaldehyde has bactericidal activity. So the use is not just because of methenamine, but its breakdown products. It breaks to give formaldehyde, which has bactericidal activity, and it also forms mandelic acid, which also has bactericidal activity. So because of formaldehyde and mandelic acid, which are the decomposed products of methenamine, they are acting as bactericidal agents, and it is used as a prophylactic in the treatment of urinary tract infections. Prophylactic drug is nothing but which is useful in the prevention of some disease. Is called prophylactic drug. So urinary tract infections, prophylactic. So its urinary acidity is typically ensured by co-administering with ascorbic acid, that is vitamin C, or ammonium chloride. They are also acidifying agents. Vitamin C and ammonium chloride, they can be used along with methenamine for increase in potency. Methenamine is in the form of cream or spray, is useful for the treatment of excessive sweat and concomitant odor. So it is also useful as antiperspirant. Methenamine is used as antiperspirant and concomitant odor. In coming to the synthesis of nitrofurantoin, take nitrofurfural. Furfural is nothing but furon with formaldehyde group is furfural, and at fifth position you have a nitro group. So this is 5-nitrofurfural. Treat it with 1-amino hydantoin. As we said, hydantoin, it is imidazole. 1 and 3 position nitrogen in fifth ring, 5 member ring, and at second and fifth position you have keto moieties, and it is completely saturated, so that will be hydantoin. So on the nitrogen you have an amine group, so this is amino hydantoin. So treat it in the presence of sodium hydroxide. There is a condensation reaction. The carbonyl moiety and the hydrogen atoms will be removed as water molecule. So you place a double bond between this nitrogen and this carbon, so that gives nitrofurantoin. So nitrofurantoin used as a urinary tract anti-infective agent. So this finishes off with fluoroquinolines as well as miscellaneous anti-infective agents in the urinary tract anti-infective agents.